Welcome to this brief tutorial on the elements of an academic article. There are two main types of academic articles: literature reviews and original research articles. A literature review is a summary of the published research on a topic. Usually this includes the most relevant peer-reviewed sources. The literature review discusses the findings and methodologies of the articles reviewed to identify main themes and topics and to point out gaps in the research. Literature reviews are helpful for research as they point out leading researchers in the field, explain the main ideas or theories, and any disputed issues within the field. Also, they include information about advances or discoveries made within a field. They also point out gaps in the research, which lead to areas that could be written about in the future. There are usually 6 main parts of a literature review. First, an abstract provides a summary of the articles that are discussed in the review. The second part is the introduction, where the author explains the purpose of the review. The results and discussion section, the third part, discusses the articles on the topic. In many literature reviews, this section is broken down into smaller parts on themes that are written on the main topic. Sometimes a smaller conclusion section is included in the literature review to close out a theme. The fourth part of a literature review is the future research portion, where the author describes any gaps in the research and areas for further research. The fifth section, the conclusions part, concludes the literature review and summarizes the findings. The final piece is a references list. There are different forms of literature reviews. The main types are general literature reviews, systematic reviews, and meta-analysis. Each of these literature reviews can be found in research databases. A search can be conducted on a topic with the phrase literature review or systematic review, which will pull up literature reviews on the topic. Many scholarly articles, especially studies, will contain literature reviews. Also, some databases will have a limiter built in that will limit to literature reviews. An original research article is another type of academic article, a primary source. This article is unique because it is written by the researchers who performed the study. The article is broken down into main sections, including a literature review, a description of the hypothesis or research question, a methodology section, results, discussion, and references. Original research articles have 6 main parts. The abstract summarizes the article and is a helpful brief look at the main sections of the article. The introduction and background explain the study and the hypothesis or research question, and include a literature review of previous studies on the topic. The methods section explains how the research was conducted, the results describe the outcomes of the study, and the discussion interprets the data and explains any possible implications or future research that could be conducted. Finally, the references outline the sources that were used in writing the article. There are a few ways to locate an original research article. First, look for the key indicators within the article: a literature review or background section, the methods, results, conclusions, discussions, and references sections. Also, it should be written by the authors who conducted the study. Make sure to limit to peer-reviewed or academic journals within the database. You can use keywords such as methods, results, and study when searching. Read the abstract first to make sure the study fits within your research topic. Then, read the whole article to make sure it is an original research article. Thank you for watching this brief tutorial on the elements of academic articles. If you have questions about how to locate or determine if an article is a literature review or an original research article, please don't hesitate to reach out to a librarian.